Welcome to another edition of Scrapbooking in Belize. My name is Dawn, and today I decide to review every single eraser that I own. Today we'll be looking at all my erasers, and if you're noticing a theme on my station, that's because, yes, I will admit I do like the Milan products. Their main distributor here in Belize is at the stationery house. One thing I might admit that I like about the Milan product is that they make a variety of items. It's not like they only make pencils and pens, erasers. No, they make a variety of art supplies and stationery supplies that is very versatile for a crafter and an illustrator, well, want-to-be illustrator like me. So let's get started. Well, we'll be looking at this Milan eraser. It's called the 9320, and according to here, it's a pencil eraser for paper and film. We'll also be looking at this one called Duo 720, and this eraser is for, graphite and colored pencil. We also look at the 920 Milan, which says Technique, and this eraser is for not abrasive, clean and eraser. Do not rub, do not remove the ink lines. And this one is the 4024, and it's an art eraser. This one that says 6020, and this one says pencil eraser for paper and film. And then I have these others. This was a Bazic Oval eraser that I got in a pack. This is a Studmark eraser. It's a soft eraser for 4B, and I believe it's a non-abrasive eraser. This is my kneadable eraser from Staedtler, and I got this while I was on I think it was at a convention. They had a convention, and they were giving out these erasers. I also have this one. Oh my gosh, this one. It is the Milan electric eraser, and it comes with 2 batteries and 11 erasive tips. The 11 erasive tips includes 7 for graphite and 4 for abrasive. It carries with the AAA battery, and it comes with an electric eraser. And I've always wanted an electric eraser, especially one like this, because it's skinny enough to get into fine corners when you're doing your artwork. And it says it has the abrasive one, so I wanted to see if that will work good with my inks that I use. So we already see here, I did my review, so let's check it out. So the first sets of erasers are all the Milan, starting with the Milan electric eraser, and I used it with my distressed ink. I used it with my distress ink Oxide, my distress ink. I used it with my dye ink, my Gina K Dye ink. I used it with my pigmented ink, and this is the Versafine Onyx Black. I also test out a range of pencils, such as my 2B pencils, my H pencils, my HB pencil, and my 8B pencil. I also use it with a variety of pens, such as my gel pen, and this is the gold color. I use my gel pen again, and this is the blue color. I use my Micron 0.05 pens. I use my pigmented liner. I use a Pilot Precision V5 pen that I have. I used it with my Sharpie. I also use it with a variety of coloring pencils, including my Raffine, my Milan Aquarell, my Milan Big Lead, my pointer Pastel, my Milan Big Lead Aquarell, my Papermate, my Crayola watercolor, my Crayola Basic, Milan Fluo, and Milan Metallic. So let's see how these all performed. So starting first with the electric Milan eraser, it didn't work well on my ink Oxide or my distressed ink. It did abrase the paper a little bit when it came to my dye ink, but as you can see, it tried to remove the pigmented ink, which is really, really good. It worked well on, and this is the graphite section, and as you can see, it worked very well when it came to the 2B, the H, the HB, and the 8B pencil. And the graphite pencil didn't do much when it came to the gel pens. It just softened the color a little bit, the same it did with the gold and blue. Along with the Micron 0.05, it didn't smudge that, or try to smooth out the color at all, or the pigmented liner, or the Pilot V, the Sharpie. And as you can see, it did do some, try to do some erasing of all the coloring pencils that I have here. This color look much softer. Now we're looking at the abrasive part of the coloring pencil, which is the blue one. It comes with a white and blue, and the blue is the abrasive one. And I love this. As you can see, it tried to remove some of my Distress Ink Oxide. It tried to remove some of the Distress Ink. It didn't work too well when it came to the dye ink pads, the pigmented ink. It tried to remove it. That is beautiful. It worked kind of okay, I would say. It did remove the Graphite 2B, HB, and ACB. It removed it. The pen, again, it worked beautiful. As you can see the line right down there. How it just removed the gel pens, gold and blue, the Micron fine liner, the pigmented liner, the Pilot precision liner, the Sharpie. It did try to remove some of the Sharpie, and the color pencils. The Duo. Now the Duo comes with both a white edge and a blue edge, but it didn't indicate whether the white edge is for graphite or the blue edge is for abrasive. So I just tested both of them. And as you can see, the graphite, the white edge really worked well when it came to the graphite. When it came to the stamp pads, because the ink oxide, the distress ink, the dye inks, and the pigmented ink are all stamp pads. It didn't work well on those, but it almost completely cleaned the paper when it came to the graphite pencils. The pen didn't move at all, except for this gold one. It looks like it was lifting a little bit. And the color pencils, as expected, the color pencils lighten a lot. The blue side now, it kind of abrased the paper a little bit here. So I think my Bristol here that I have is a little too soft. But as you can see, it completely erased the graphite pencil. So I know this is very good when it comes to graphite pencils. The pens and the color pencils. And now we're doing my favorite. I use this one all the time, which is the 60-20. And I use it for drawing because it doesn't leave that much. I call it eraser dust. I'm not sure what else to call it. You know, when you erase something, and let's use this one because this one leaves a lot, you know, all that. Yeah, this doesn't leave a lot of it. It leaves just one strip, and sometimes he does a small strips and sometimes barely anything at all. And I love this one. It's a 920. And yeah, I jumped. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to jump. This is the one I love. But this is the one we're looking at, which is the 4. We're looking at the 4. Yes, we're looking at the 424. I am so sorry. And as you can see, it worked great. Amazingly, it cleaned the entire graphic. It tried to work on the pigmented ink, the 424, the 4024, and it worked very well here. Now, I'm not going to go through all these pencils that I have. And now we're looking at the 9320. And we're going down the line. Again, beautiful when it comes to graphite. And oh my gosh, it tried to take up the blue gel pen. That is good for me. So I know that when I make a mistake with my blue gel pen, I could use this one. And now finally, we get to the 60-20. As you can see, it worked very well when it comes to graphite. It tried to remove some of the gel pen. It also tried to remove some of the Micron, and it tried to remove some of the Sharpie. This actually tried to remove the Sharpie and the colored pencil. It didn't remove it all, but it just made the color very, very light. Now my favorite is the 920. I think I had something on the paper and it kind of tore there. But the 920 doesn't work at all when it comes to my stamp pads. But what I love about it, look at that clean line. You didn't even know graphite pencils was there. It just completely cleaned it, and that's why this one is my go-to for when I do my art or when I'm practicing the art. It just erases clean. doesn't abrade the paper at all, doesn't give any kind of rip edges to the paper, and just erase clean. And it actually tried to erase the colored pencils, as you can see. Now we're going to, there's one more, excuse me, I forgot to pull one out. It's this one. And as you can see, I had to take it out of my art bag. And this is called the Tri Jet. It's another Milan product. And the reason why I love this is because of the triangular shape. You could get into the corners without any much trouble, and it's retractable. And that's what I like about it. I use it all the time. As you can see, it was in my art bag. And yeah, it works perfect on graphite. And it tried to erase the colored pencil, but as we know with colored pencil, you will never get it all off. Maybe not. Let's go again. Let's look at the Studmark. And the Studmark did a good job when it came to the distressing. As you can see, it's very light there. And as we go down, I'm sorry, I'm going to keep this in my hand because I just love the feel of it, everything. It erased completely, just like the 920, the Studmark soft eraser 4B completely erased the graphite. So I love these two. The only problem is I don't think I saw much of this, but I could be wrong. Maybe I wasn't looking. And at least we tried to erase some of the graphite. Now we're looking at the kneadable eraser. Yes, there is kneadable eraser in Belize, and you can get it right at the stationery house, and it's the Staedtler kneadable eraser. I love this when I do my art, and you know, it just softens the line, make line work a little easier. And let's see, completely erase the graphite. Of course, kneadable eraser doesn't really work well when it comes to colored pencil, and that's expected. And then this one, a basic eraser. I don't remember where I got this one from, but it worked well when it, the only thing I think this basic eraser does that I don't appreciate, it's abrasive to the paper. And so if you erase it and you're very heavy-handed, you can actually rip the paper. So you've got to be careful with this. And this one, I don't even know what brand of eraser this is. I just went to a convention and I gave it as a free gift, and it tried, but it's so abrasive. I can see it tried to peel the paper off. So you have to be careful when you're using it. It looks like it completely erased the color pencil, but that's because it's so abrasive that it tried to peel the paper. So after reviewing the erasers that I enjoy using is the kneadable eraser, the Milan Technique, 920, and I think I just found my new best friend, which is this electric eraser. Thank you so much, and join me next time for another edition of Scrapbooking in Belize. Bye!